Well, hello there, internet world. I am Guy Lane, and I'm here with my friend David Hood.
Hi, this is a great night.
This little segment is sponsored by David Hood.
Thank you.
Actually, sponsored by David Hood. You'll notice that I have in front of me a box, and I wonder if you can guess what is in the box. And if you follow along the story, you'll probably know that it's books. So let's open the box, which has come from Ingram Spark in Melbourne, who are the printers that I use to print my paperbacks. And David has been very generous and thrown in some money, kicked the tin, as I like to say, to get 42 copies.
Look at this. Here we go.
42 copies of Vita Worldview, a sustainable life philosophy. Lots of paper and shit in the box. Let's just throw that out, because we don't need that anymore, do we? Just get rid of that. Oh, there's more.
All over my floor.
Aha! And look what's inside. Here's one we cooked before. So, what a beautiful little book. Now, if those of you who've been following this story, this book, I started writing this book in a little town in northeastern Tasmania called Bishano.
That's right. Yep.
Have you ever been to Bishano?
No, I haven't been to Bishano.
You've been to Tasmania?
Yes, often, but not Bishano, no.
Bishop, beautiful little place. Not a lot of people up there. Rugged as, like strong winds, big waves, and these big, huge boulders, and the waves just crashing.
Beautiful scenery though.
And it's got like this bright orange lichen all over the rocks on the seafront. Oh, it's just incredible. And there's a blowhole there as well.
Yeah, wow.
So as the waves rush in, so impressive.
And out the top comes.
And out of the blowhole comes the Vita Worldview pocketbook. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I was there in around May 2022. I've been working on this big idea around the intersection of environmental science and ecological spirituality, and I figured I needed a book. I needed a little
book.
What a
big idea it is.
It's a big idea. It's a big idea in a little book. So anyway, I had a little bit of extra cash in those days, and so I rented this little house called Blue Wren Cottage, and I was there for 8 days. And
were there blue wrens there?
Fucking cold as it was. So cold. I had the heater going, like the main heater in the house. Mm-hmm. I had the kettle boiling. I had the stove going with the door open, and I'm still wrapped up with my hat and my jacket, and I'm freezing my fucking nuts off. But I knocked out the first draft of this book. And every 3 to 6 months or so since then, I have basically updated the book with the latest thinking on this big idea around spirituality and saving the planet, right? And this is the latest iteration. Just more recently, I stopped using Microsoft Word because the book became complicated because it's full of like pictures and stuff, and Microsoft Word just isn't right for that. So I got this new software called Office Libra, which really allowed me to make a much cleaner publication. The book's thicker now because I've changed blah, blah, blah.
Too much information going.
Yeah, exactly. So here it is.
Yeah.
This
is the start of something big. We need to get this idea actually out into the public sphere so that people start realizing how important it is to do something to save humanity from the impending disaster that we all face. I hate doom and gloom like this, but this is a really shining light in how we can solve this problem. But we need to understand, we need to read it deeply and carefully and think seriously about what next.
Yeah. So the heart of this idea goes back to an insight that I had in August 2016, which was this idea that the climate and ecological crisis is not a crisis of economics or politics or technology. It's fundamentally a crisis of spirituality. That Western people have lost their spiritual connection to life on Earth, to nature. And that was the origins of the idea. Now, it took me a few years to kind of get to understand what that idea meant. And that's basically what this little book is about. A sustainable life philosophy that sits at the intersection of environmental science, which is the rational understanding of the Earth system, and ecological spirituality, which is the love and reverence for nature.
And the book is so simple and easy to read. You'll get over it in 1 hour.
No,
And
hour and a half.
Not over it, but you get to absorb it in maybe 2 hours then. And read it again and actually go back to it. Use it as your reference for spirituality with nature. And it's so important that we get back to nature because we've lost that connection. Honestly, here I'm wearing a shirt that says,
Stop possum.
Stop bulldozing the bush. And that's what we're doing. We really need to understand that we've got to get back, see nature, love nature, protect nature, worship nature. And I mean worship, not in some religious God-fearing thing, but worship nature for its intrinsic value of how it supports life on Earth.
Absolutely, and this is fundamental, and this is what's explained in the little book, is to help people understand that nature is our life support system. Okay, half of the oxygen every second breath comes from the phytoplankton, the plankton in the ocean.
Thank you, plankton.
Thanks, plankton.
Thank
right?
you, plankton.
Thanks, plankton.
Yes.
And yet we've lost probably 40% of the plankton because the ocean's getting hotter and more acidic, right? And then the other half of the oxygen that we breathe, the second breath, comes from the forests and the land. And you know what we've done to forests.
Salute a tree, shake a shrub.
Say hi to a cloud.
Absolutely, worship nature. Get out in the bush, go and see the bush, live the bush for an hour or 3. Just get in there and nurture yourself and your spirit with nature.
Yeah. So that's what this little book's
Read
about.
this book.
This little book is about trying to help people connect with a deeper understanding of the Earth system and a love of nature.
Hey guys, it is deadly serious. We are facing a catastrophic future unless we do something about resurrecting nature and making sure that everything we humans do on this planet preserves the life-giving force of nature. And you need that spiritual connection to make that happen. Go for it, Guy.
Thanks, David. Thanks for supporting the project.
My pleasure.